Hello, hello, hello. I am live. Oh, hey, Cindy. Hey. I was having problems with my microphone. After all of that, I still had problems with the microphone, and now my hair is doing crazy stuff. But anyway, how is everybody doing? I am so excited. Y'all, this is the 60-day mark of Brilliant Quest going live. Well, becoming a channel. And I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And one of the things that I definitely want to say is, y'all, getting these cameras and lights together is more than an ocean. I hope you can see me because I have, no joke, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different lights on, and I still don't think I have enough lighting. So y'all let me know if you can see me okay. And I know it's kind of, a boring background, but we gotta have room to move here and everything. But anyway, all right. So, first and foremost, I want to thank everybody because you have been showing up and showing out. At this particular time, we have 209 subscribers. Woo! And I do not know how to do all that fancy stuff. So, it's giving what it's giving. We're doing what we're doing. But anyway, thank you for that. This is amazing that someone in her 50s could start a YouTube channel and I would get all the love and all of that. And so I really wanted to say thank you, thank you, thank you. And then I had a few people that had some specific things that they wanted me to chat about on today's live. And I want to make sure I do that. But before, I want to make a few announcements. So let me get my little announcements together. So, as part of being able to grow the channel and, everything, what I'm going to be doing is every time I get to 1,000 subscribers, I am going to be offering a free 30-minute one-on-one Zoom with me to one person. And the way I'm going to be choosing who gets to do that is I'm going to be putting something on the community tab when it's open, when we're getting close to, the 1,000, or we've made the 1,000, each incremental 1,000 subscribers. And I will let you know what buzzword I want you to put in there. Now, the way I'll be able to find you is whatever the word is, you'll need to put it in your comments for the videos for that week or whatever. And then I'm not going to choose. I'm going to put it into a randomizer and let the randomizer choose and then let you guys know. And I'm going to try to let you guys know on a live, because I'm like, I got to get over this nervousness of being live. And so what I'm going to do is when I'm doing lives, I'll make the announcement for the person who's gotten that. So don't forget to continue to watch, like, and subscribe, because every time I get another 1,000 subscribers, you can enter to win a 30-minute one-on-one private Zoom with me. Okay. And and if you're wondering, like, well, why would I want the one-on-one? Okay, so in case you didn't know, I was a therapist. I'm a life coach. I'm an oracle, and I'm an intuitive. So out of those different areas, with your life, with strategic planning, with what you want to do or see or fill out, you would want to get that live. Okay, so the next one is I am going to also be doing lives each week. So don't forget that you want to check out the community tab for when I go live. And based on when you guys are watching right now, YouTube says that y'all are watching me at night, later, at like 9 p.m. Thankfully, I'm a night person. So I think on the next lives, I'm going to go a little later and all of that. So you guys sound out and let me know if that works for you. But that's 9 p.m. Eastern, which is my time, 9 p.m. Eastern. And so, there. But I forgot to ask. Hey, Kimmy, hey, Cindy, can you guys hear me okay? Because like I said, I was having some issues with the mic, and that's why it took me a few minutes to go live, because microphones. So let me know. Can you hear me? I hope. I hope I have not been just wasting my time talking and you couldn't hear me. Let's see here. This is such incredible. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Can you hear me okay? Is the sound all right? Because I don't they don't give me I don't see any kind of like indicators. Okay, you can hear me. Okay, great. All right. So anyway, the next thing is I am going to attempt to be more interactive with you guys by using polls and stuff, and I hope I get it right. But in order to do that, I am going to need for you guys to let me know how to reach you. And so in the next few days, when I figure out how to do this domain verification stuff, and if y'all know how to do this, one of y'all help your sis out. I'm going to be getting a sign up. And so with that, with the engagement, I'm going to be starting my newsletter, and the newsletter is going to come out bi-weekly, like twice a month to start out, so that I don't get overwhelmed and you don't have to like feel like, oh, she's just coming out with all this stuff. Because as you know, as of right now, I'm doing videos every single day. And this is to help me get over, the jitters and all of that, and get all of this backlog of stuff that I've been wanting to talk about. And it's also helping me to find my flow, my rhythm, and what I really, can resonate with you on. Because it's not necessarily just about what I want to talk about, is where I can scratch, where I can scratch where you're itching. Okay. So let me see here. Great idea. This is such an thank you, thank you, thank you. We hear saying Michelle's a good aura and I'm one on one. And thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. All right. So, make sure you guys check out the live chat, because we got somebody vouching that, you definitely want to help not help, you want to get in for the live 30-minute. All right, so as promised, I am going to be talking about two things that subscribers asked me to talk about. The first one is let me get myself straight here. Okay, the first one was from Abby, and Abby said she wanted me to talk about how do you step up and build up and handle failure, and why is it so hard for us to be able to do this? She said that she wants to know how to pursue your true path, knowing what the true meaning of this journey is, and why. Let's see. Oh, this is a lot of okay, and why people are afraid to follow their true path. Um, okay, and she talks about failing. All righty. All right. So what I'm going to say, first of all, thank you, Abby, for that question. I do appreciate it, because anytime I can get a chance to give my 2 cents, I am ready for it. So, okay, what I'm going to say is she talked about stepping up and building up. And in those two words, in and of themselves, they denote someone who is more about or in more of the action taking stage. And I like to say that there's a season and a time for everything. Like for instance, whether people say learning is procrastinating or not, there is a season and a time for everything. And Abby, what I want to say about a lot of times why people are in fear of stepping up and building up is because instinctively deep down inside they have a deficiency where they may not feel like they've done the proper preparatory work, and that preparatory work could be formalized training or learning. It could be that they are kind of discombobulated where they don't know how to start. And when you're talking about stepping up to the plate, getting engaged, implementing, there are things that come before that. And this kind of like gets back into my entrepreneurial and business side. Just like building something, like if you got to finish up a project or whatever, there are certain things that have to happen. The biggest part is strategy. And most people think strategy is this whole big thing of coming up with this magnificently masterful plan, when normally strategy is about getting self centered so that you can understand priority and order. Yeah. And so if you've got someone who is not self-centered, and when I say self-centered, I'm not talking about egotistically, selfish. I'm talking about someone who is self-centered, meaning that they've got this above and below. I mean, when I'm thinking of it right now, I'm thinking about like a ice skater. And what happens to an ice skate? Now, I've never well, I've done it once, but I'm not good at it. What happens to an ice skater when they lose their center of gravity? They fall, they spin out, they go out. It's the same thing with stepping up and building up. You first must have, and I'll tell you the process and how this fits. Strategy, tactics, planning, process, implementation, and execution. And so a lot of people, they are afraid to implement and execute. And in my world, that's two similar but separate things. Where to implement is to put everything in order and make sure all the resources and everything is ready. It's kind of like your launch of launching something. And then the execution is the maintaining of doing it. But you can't implement if you've not strategized, got your tactics, your planning, and your process in order. Someone said, they said, I want to say it was Karen Hunter from the Karen Hunter show, but she said she knows when and if someone is capable and probable of pulling off what they say they're going to do based on their system and their process. And what she's saying is a person is better able to step up and build up when they've gotten their priorities straight, when they've gotten their center of focus straight, and out of that they're able to prioritize, get unconfused, and be able to set up a process and a plan. And y'all know I read a lot of books, and so when I'm talking, a lot of different things coming from different books are coming my way. And like right now I'm thinking about Atomic Habits by oh dear, just because I'm trying to do this off the top of my head, but Atomic Habits, and his name will come to me in a minute. But he talked about the difference between a goal and a system. And he says, a goal, everybody wants to achieve their goals, but they don't understand a goal is simply a direction. It's the system that gets you the accomplishment. And I felt that deep down because years ago, I was like, I have all these goals and I'm sometimes hitting them, but I feel like I'm spraying buckshot instead of bullets. And it wasn't until all of those books before him, like Shoot, Fire, Aim, and all of these that try to disrupt the process of trying to go towards a goal when the goal is the direction to just lead you in the right way, it started really hitting me. And that's when I really started understanding that a lot of times we have problems and being afraid of the unknown because we've not done what we can to prepare. Now, you're not going to totally eradicate the risk and the randomness of the unknown, but being able to get yourself centered so that you have strategy, so that you can understand what comes first, what comes second. And then out of what you figure out from that, you're able to build the tactics. And the tactics are simply the tools and the resources you're going to use so that then you make the plan. And so once you've done those things and you step up, you are putting yourself in a higher probability of being able to know your true path and I'm making sure uh, mitigate the amount of failure that you're having, and have a better chance at actually manifesting and seeing the stuff that you want to accomplish. And the last part I want to put on that part for you, Abby, is it's an amazing thing when you start really focusing on what it means to strategize within yourself. Alex Hormozy. He has a few YouTube videos where I think he was at live events and he talked about strategy. And it was really funny because we had come to similar conclusions. And I was appreciative that I wasn't the only one thinking about this is how you strategize for your life. And he talked about two types of situations that keep people from strategizing. And he talked about the confused and the overwhelmed. And he said that if you're feeling sad, that's the word he used. He said, if you're feeling sad, it is most likely because you have a sense of confusion, where you don't know what to do. And it means that you're just spinning in place hoping something will hit. And he was like, if you don't have any options, or you feel like you're confused, or whatever, he says what you first want to do is you want to just figure out this one thing. What is the biggest bang for the buck with the shortest amount of distance? And I love that, because in our life paths, if you will, sometimes the answer is not going to be thrown at you. It's going to be where you have to take an inventory of what you have access to. Let me say that again. You have to take an inventory of what you have access to. And then that is going to dictate how you move forward. Now, on the other hand, he said overwhelmed. And he said that's where people have too many options. And guess what? The same thing applies. Picking the straightest path, with the least amount of obstacles to get there. So what gives you the biggest bang, and you don't have to do as much, and that's going to push away a whole bunch of different things that are pulling at your attention and demanding that you do them. And some of them are going to be really, really hard to let go, because they make so much sense in the now. But I'm going to tell you, when you start to do this and you put strategy first, it's going to dictate your tactics, which Alex is talking about. Once you get unconfused and unoverwhelmed, you'll be able to see your tactics really clearly of what you can use. And this is, I wish I could say it was easy, but I'm going to say it's easier as you take practice, because you can know and have access to a lot of tactics. But the thing about tactics are skills, tool sets, experience, access, opportunities, people, just different resources. And if you know anything about a tool and a skill, all are not created equal. And just because somebody has a Lamborghini doesn't mean they can drive a Lamborghini. And so that's the tricky part with tactics too. You got to be able to go with what you know at that time. You have to be willing and able to make the resources, that you have available to you, work. And that means you're going to choose the tactics that you are the most skilled, or can get someone to help you with at that time. So don't be overwhelmed. And then with the build up part, so that's the step up. With the build up part, the biggest part about what I will say to you right now in going through this, like for a brilliant quest, the biggest build up I will say is become a maker. And when I say become a maker, what I'm saying is become a producer and not just a consumer. Um, you might see your path as something that you really want to do. And one of the things that I've learned in trying to go out and do something, especially when you want to feel good about it, when you want to see growth, when you want to see it succeed, is it is better to produce than it is to consume. And I say that like I'm celebrating 60 days of building a channel. And in that 60 days, it has been all about a reframing to produce. And that production is not, oh, how many views can I get with this video? No. It has been a reframe of understanding I have something that people want, instead of what can I give to the people so they'll want me. You see, it's a difference. And it's the difference between the consumer who must consume, who allows their ego, who allows the capriciousness of the wind blowing, to get them off course. The person who's going to give up when the trolls inevitably come and reject you and try to do you in the comments. When you want to build up, change it and become the producer. Understand, I have something that people want, and this is what I'm going to put out there. And I'm going to make sure that I am going to work through that framework so that when I get constructive criticism, I'll know how to tweak and refine what it is that I have that people want, instead of when I get any kind of rejection or critique, I'm changing all the time because I'm trying to consume the likes, the shares, the praises of others. And it won't go well because you're not building anything. You're just trying to consume, like the Cookie Monster, all the good stuff. And when that one bad thing comes, it knocks you off of course. And then you're like, well, I don't want to put anything else out. Or what happens when you're going along great, and then for whatever reason, nobody's doing anything. A producer is still going to produce. A consumer is still going to consume. And if a consumer can't consume because people have stopped giving them stuff to consume, they quickly turn and go to something else. And that's how you have people all over the place just doing all kinds of craziness and not being settled on this one thing. And so those are my little insights on how do you step up? How do you build up? How do you find your true path? And how do you mitigate the impact of failure? Because we're going to fail. You're going to do stuff that bombs, but that doesn't mean that you're defeated. Defeat is the final failure. Defeat is when you're not willing to get out there anymore. You're not willing to be in the arena anymore. You're not willing to suffer one more failure anymore. All right. So I hope that scratched where you itch. Please, Abby, when you see this, give me feedback and let me know, because I am appreciative that you took the chance to open up and ask. And I really wanted to, give you some quick insights on that. How we doing in the chat? Hi, is everybody? I see a few people out there. I'm really grateful. And they told when I went and checked about doing lives and stuff, they were like, you got to give people a chance to get in here, and you can't just be so quick. And I'm like, okay, I won't be just so quick. I'll take a chance and slow it down and all that kind of stuff. And so before I get to my next question, what I want to do is I want to talk to you guys about something that I'm working on to put together in a video. And it is about surviving. Yeah, to survive. And I wanted to just let you guys know that to survive is not bad. We're living in a society right now where everybody wants you to be thriving. No one wants you to be surviving. And survival has gotten a bad rap. Uh, Even me, I was like, oh, if you're just surviving, you're not doing well. Well, y'all, lo and behold, I had to go back to the etymology of the word. And from the 1400s, 15th century, survivre, a French word. Do you know what it meant it meant to outlive, outlast. So to survive is an encompassment. Is that a word? It encompasses what it takes to outlive and outlast so that you become the beneficiary. Oh, hello. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Why are we thinking survive means to just hand to mouth barely make it? No. Survive means to outlast to the end so that you become the beneficiary. Survive used to be a legal instrument, meaning all the words were the survivors. To survive meant that you were the one who got the inheritance. It is actually tied to inheritance. And so as I'm looking at this, I'm like, wait, whoa. Yes. I started learning that the reason why we're supposed to know when it's our time to survive and to thrive is because the only way you can thrive is if you have survived. What you gonna thrive off of if you not survived? Can y'all talk to me in the chat? Am I making sense? Because this has been, wow, a different point of view for me. I was like, wait a minute. We do have this wrong. We've got it where, oh, if you're just a survivor, you barely made it, you're broken and all of this kind of stuff. And it's like, no. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I always try to keep my ear to the spirit of the times. Um, you know, another side of me is I'm an oracle, and so I usually get things about movements, not just people, but about movements. And it's like right now, so many people have been talking about, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, I am a survivor. So many people have been talking about the politics, the economics, and they have not been looking at where we are on the circle, because what goes around comes around. And too many times we get waylaid um, and fixated on stuff that was always temporary. It came to pass, not to stay. And when I was, and I'm continuing, to study on this because, y'all, I'm always, with my notes and all of that kind of stuff. Because, like I said, I am determined to be useful to you instead of just helpful, because useful is where it's at. You see what they get, what they pay to help. The help is only, there to help you with what you don't want to do. The useful are there as a strategic surgical tool to help you get and unlock stuff that you weren't able to get on your own. So I'm determined to be useful. But in understanding and really digging deep into what this means to survive, it is letting me know that when you survive, that means you're used to going through cycles with an S. Cycles. And if you look at a circle, just if you start at one point, right? If you look at a circle, you've got a fourth, a half, three-fourths, a full. That's just one cycle. That means that if somebody starts out here and they get to here, they might have some success. But then they get to here, which is the half of it, they're right back probably to where they started. And then you know what's coming next? The bottom part where they fail. And then that last part between when they come back to where they started, they've got to fight their way back up just to where they were. And change is a circle, always circling, nothing new under the sun. And so when you have a survivor is someone who is really good at circles and cycles. A survivor is someone who understands what is up will be down, what is left will be right. They don't take time to just say, oh, we're in a recession right now. They're like, recessions come and go. That's the circle of life. And they learn how to adjust in each season that they're in. I didn't realize that. Oh, if you are in survival mode, that means that you're becoming a master of the whole cycle. So that when you finish the cycle, guess what you get? You get the gifts of completion, where that's where you propel yourself into thriving, because you don't have to go back to that cycle anymore. Well, I said that sometimes, but for the most part, you don't have to go back to that cycle anymore, because it's hard to unlearn what you've truly learned. And even when you go back to a cycle, if you've learned it, you're not going to be in that cycle much longer, because you've gotten all of these gifts to thrive. And so I was like, you know what? Sometimes we really do put the cart before the horse, where we're so busy trying to um, get that bag and, thrive, when we don't understand the bigger blessings are when you're in survival mode. When you have to be in monk mode, just head down working, and you can't do all the stuff that everybody wants to do. I was looking at my nails the other day, and I was like, "Ooh, girl, you need some help with these cuticles." And then you know what I had to remind myself? I was like, "We're in monk mode right now. When we get through with this cycle and we're thriving, we might go do that. But for right now, it's all about getting that lesson, getting that blessing, and understanding what this is about." You know, one of the bigger things that I started learning as I was looking at what does it mean to survive, there are things like travail, contraction. Even economists use these kinds of terms when they're talking about economic cycles. In order to have any kind of movement, there's a friction. But The friction that moves stuff is the survival thriving cycle, where in the survival cycle, you have a lot of contraction. For people who had children and going through natural childbirth, you know, there are a lot of times people are like, yeah, in order to deliver that baby, I had to go through contractions and they hurt, but that was the only way that baby was getting here. But yet and still, we know that that's nature and that's natural. And that is the progression of moving something along, inch, I should be going this way, inching it along. But we don't want to do that. And then we poo-poo on it and say, oh, ah, life doesn't like me right now because I'm just barely surviving. No, you're actually getting a master's level course in how to run this cycle so that if it ever comes again, you'll breeze through it. Because the survivor is what? Y'all say it with me, even if I can't hear you. It's the one who what? Outlives and outlasts. There are many people that are going to go through the cycle with you that are not. But the inheritance, the spoils, if you will, they go to the survivor. That's what thriving is. There are too many people out here that don't want to go through the course and the cycle of surviving, but they always want to thrive. And then when it's not working the way they want it to work, they're like, oh, the world hates me. This can't be right. Because they're not, oh my gosh, because they are not understanding the process and understanding how things work. Um, I I kind of like I want to say that even me being here right now, I thought I did, and I've got some people that I'm seeing here in the chat that I know well enough to know that they're probably nodding their heads right now. This is quote unquote just 60 days. But living every one of these days has been something because I have been in survival mode. Another part of survival is you suck at it. Yes. When you're in survival mode, whew, most of the time you're in fits of frustration because everything you're having to do, you're not good at it. You're new to it. And you're learning how to become proficient. Because remember, in this survival, it's the person who outlasts and outlives through the cycles. And when you go through a cycle, it's hopefully you're going up and up and up because you stay in a cycle until you learn the lesson, which means that you're there to get proficient, which means that 9 times out of 10, you're gonna be frustrated because you're not gonna be good at it at all. And I'm gonna tell you, it is hard every day trying to be like, which way do I go? Which way do I go? How do I do it? What do I do? I mean, it's not good. Well, it's not a good feeling. And and so like I said, sitting here and marinating because of course I'm gonna chunk this down when I give it to you. And it's gonna be, 20 minutes or less while I try to give you the 10 points of what I'm learning and everything. But I kind of want you to know that this honey, this information is not me just regurgitating what somebody else heard. It is hard won experience, insights, skills, taking the hard knocks, the getting my butt handed to me and all of that. And I kind of really want you guys to know if you are in survival mode right now, based on what I've just said, you need to count it all joy. You need to be happy. You need to be skipped to my lewin, excited. You know why? Because that means that you are going through the paces and the requirements to get to a thriving level that others are not able or willing to get to. Because say it with me again, y'all. What's a survivor? The one who outlasts and outlives to get the inheritance. And I don't know about you, but being able to be a survivor is a blessing, even though it don't feel good at all. So let me pause and see, because I see I got some comments. Oh my gosh. Oh yes, thank you. Definitely count it all joy. No, it's not easy. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And another thing too. Oop, y'all, my hair today, she was like, I'm gonna show up, but I'm not gonna show out for you. I'm tired. You need to give me a break. So y'all please forgive her because she's like, I'm done. I'm just done. Let me rest for a minute. So please forgive me. I hope my hair is not a distraction, but okay. So anyway, when I was when I was trying to, like get ready, because I've been excited all day, y'all. I really have. And I had to, get a whole bunch of stuff that would have been like psychic weight on my mind, out the way. So this morning I was doing chores and different little things. And I was just like, okay, so am I still talking about this? Am I still, and it was all of this emotional going on. And around noon, a good friend, sent me a text and was asking, how I was doing. I was like, okay, I've just been dealing with all of these emotions, and all of this kind of stuff. And um, when I got to a moment, because I had to meditate before I came on here, and I got to a moment where I had to pause. And you know what I had to realize? I had to tap into the fact that you're choosing to watch this. Nobody's holding a gun to your head. You're choosing to support my usefulness to you. And in that, you're hoping that I do well, not that I do bad. And so I had to like calm myself down and be like, wait, wait, wait. These people are hoping that I do well. Well, at least the ones right now. Now I won't, I can't say for what happens later, because there are some people that come for the train wreck or the parade, but they don't come for just the everyday. But for y'all, thank you. And so it kind of helped me to calm down and to understand that, yeah, this is pretty cool. This is okay. It's all right. And with that, I'm getting ready to segue into the other question that I got. And that question, it came from, let me get my notes here. It came from when I was talking about how to be more likable and not so self-centered, and how to be good at reaching out and talking with more people, um, especially online. And what I want to say about that is, when I sat down and meditated on that particular question, because I was like, you know what, I don't want to just give a pat answer. I don't want to just give something that's, just, Captain Obvious. I realized that now, today, more than ever, we are what I'm calling, we're having to become ultimately responsible for making our own paths. And it can be very scary. Um, Technology has made it where we have so many opportunities to visit different groups or even make our own groups. And in that, it's really the best thing and the most dangerous thing that you can ever do. And it's because we we have this Teflon suit called this monitor in front of us, where a lot of times people behave in ways they never would if they had to do things in person. And so maybe I was a little too flippant by saying, go out and do this or that. Now, I did use the instance of me going into Reddit. And I mean, I have to really get myself together when I go into Reddit. Woo, yes, I do. And yeah, but it has helped me to be able to be appreciative of other people's opinions. And one of the things that I wanted to make sure I said when I answered, how do you do that online? Is I wanted to say that some of the best interactions, I'm not going to say friendships, but interactions I've had have been when people came at me the wrong way. Because when you are in this kind of environment, a lot of stuff can be lost in translation, and people can read what you're saying through the filters of what they're thinking when that may not have been what you meant. And then they say something, and it's funny, it becomes a pile-on. And the power that I think we must be ultimately responsible for to enact is how we respond to what the person has said. And it used to be where I would try to explain, and explaining is not the first way to lead off. Mm-mm. One of the things that I'm finding now, especially when I'm seeking to find my tribe, or find a place where I can fit in, is when someone says something or replies to something I've said or whatever in a cross way. I normally am very grateful and I say thank you. Thank you for sharing your side of this. I would have never seen it that way. And it's not that I'm trying to use it as a cunning tool as much, or even a ploy, as much as I'm trying to be authentic, because I've not spent 1 second in that person's mind. And what I've done has been so successful that it caused them to take time out that they're not getting paid for to respond to me. And so by them responding to me and sometimes writing a dissertation or whatever, it helps me to get a better insight of what it looks like from their side. And it helps me to grow my ability. I call it jumping points of view. It causes me to be better and better at jumping points of view so that I can get so many different points of view for any given thing, that it helps me to be more complete. Now, like I said before, I'm not saying that this is going to make you be friends with this person, but I will say that more often than not, if that person replies back, they reply back with a hint of respect. And they're like, well, thank you. Okay. And then sometimes they'll start, interacting with me, and it's a wonderful thing. And so doing what we would like to do to find people, especially in the medium of online, I'm going to say the rules of engagement are different, because let's face it, every time you engage with somebody, they're trying to figure out your status, whether you can help them or hinder them, or if you want something from them that they're not willing to give. But then the other thing too is when you add in the onlineness of it, there's a hint of danger of who am I dealing with? And a lot of times people are been conditioned to be very adversarial. There are people who do nothing but get online to fight. Recently, with one of my my videos that I put out, why the lazy are winning. Um, this guy put in the comments, he said, "I came here to fight." He said, "But I left here wanting to be lazy." And I hollered. That, like, to me, if I was to get out giving out awards, that one would be one of them. And it was so funny because I was like, see, that's what I'm talking about right there. That's right there. People come to fight online. Because think about it. What if you could get in the ring and box it up and you don't have to take any physical abuse and you could just be a troll to your heart's desire? Some people, they like gassing off all of the stuff that they do during the day. Now, I'm going to say, you are not welcome here. You cannot come here. But this is a truism. And understanding what you're dealing with and understanding that a soft reply will disarm the biggest troll a lot of times, because if they can't get something out of you to feed that monster, they'll go away. But if they were just being surly and a curmudgeon, and you come back with a soft reply, they're gonna be like, oh, they understand me. And then they'll start talking to you. And so that's how I'm gonna, kind of, answer that one. Let me see. I got some. Y'all, oh my gosh, y'all are actually here with me. Oh, this is so awesome. Y'all are making this first live so amazing. Y'all know I'm a journal about it. Okay, so let me do this real quick. Y'all, this is my latest journal. And I ain't gonna show y'all all my business, but this is my latest journal. And so like I said, I tell you, I journal every night, and I just use these little composition notebooks, and I put the date of when I started, and then once I'm finished, I'm gonna put the date over there. And then in another room, I have all the journals that I've finished, and they stacked up. Let me just put it this way: I have too many journals to burn now because it would be a fire hazard, and I might start a fire, but I don't want to trust it to sending it to an incinerator. But I've kicked the can down the road and told my family, don't you look, you burn. So I don't know why I'm putting the onus on them to do that. Like, I don't know which one of us will be gone first. But anyway, okay, Michelle, stop being so macabre. But anyway, so that's one. And then this one is my financial journal. And one day I'm gonna actually talk to you guys about how I do my money financial journals each night too. But yeah, so this is this, and I'm going to be journaling about this tonight because this is another milestone. Let's see here. Having conversations with people with different points of view. Okay, yeah, it is. It is. It's very valuable. And okay, so this one is not funny, and I wanted to talk about it because I think this is probably one of the reasons why it's important for us to have these kind of conversations, and not just me doing this. You guys, I'm sorry, my nose is itchy. Um, I got it was on CNN this week. And you guys, I graduated my undergrad. I graduated from a HBCU, which is a historically black college university here in the States. And I grew up in a town that had an HBCU in it. So I'm all about HBCUs. And it hurt my heart because a recently appointed, or not appointed, hired vice president of a HBCU took her life in January 8th to be exact, of this year. And as of today, this is February 28th. So just over a month ago. And they cited mental struggles. And I read the article and I wanted to try to see if I could find some more information about it, because I don't believe you should just use one source. But I did want to talk about it today. And the reason why I wanted to talk about it today is because I kind of want to put this out there, that one of the reasons why Brilliant Quest is here is because I can understand where that lady was coming from. Now, I don't know everything. This is all second and even third hand. But y'all, she did not make it a year. So first of all, she was an alumni of the university and she was excited when she got hired. And she was fired after 9 months. And 5 days after she was fired, she sent out an email. Now, y'all, this email was 6,000 words. The average two double spaced page can hold maybe 300 words. Her email that she sent out to so many different people was 6,000 words. And then she had pictures of evidence and, excuse me, guys, nose itching. She had pictures of evidence and all this other stuff stating her case. And I was waiting for them to say something about, like, oh, she's just rambling. Mm-mm. She was not rambling. She was laying out times and all these things about what got her to the point where she was like, I'm out. And it caused an uproar where the students wanted to rebel. The board of trustees had to hire an outside law firm and all these different things. And this is one of the biggest things, the takeaways was that she said nobody believed her. When she was writing all this stuff out and gathering her information and everything, she was like, nobody believed me. And now they're having to look at it line by line, word by word of what she said. And CNN was kind of making it seem like she's justified. And what does this do for when you have, now they of course positioned it as a black woman, but I'm just going to talk about just any and everybody, because right now people are having to go through their own personal hells. And it's hard when you are emotionally spent and you're getting gaslit by society. And I don't want to, bring the level down too much, but what I do want to say is this. I want to say that this is a time when it is not about mental illness as much as it's about mental struggle. So many people are going through immense mental struggle. And remember when I was talking about survival, the one who outlasts? I'm trying to make as many survivors as I can, because when you don't qualify enough to be considered insane, when you don't qualify and have the neurological imbalances and chemical imbalances that count you as one of the people who have codified illnesses, when you just have a successive bad days where your brain, your mind, and your brain are just taking hit after hit after hit, and you're struggling, this is the kind of stuff that can happen because you're not presenting as a depressive or anxious or any of these other words. And I'm not saying that that's bad or whatever. I'm just simply saying, if you know that it's just been forever and I don't know how long I can can take this, and nobody seems to understand what I'm saying. I want you to know that this is a place you are not alone. If you want me to cover something, let me know. If I'm able to, if I'm qualified, I will take a stab at it. I will try to do the work to be useful to you, because outside of when you if you go and you Google, what you're going through, they always want to only talk, it seems, to the mental illness. They want to talk to the people who require psychiatry. But what about that person who requires resilience, who requires a good bounce back group, a good bounce back plan and story? This is it. Brilliant Quest. We're all about that bounce back. We're all about that recovery. And I just need you to know you're not alone. And it's never going to be as bad as it can be by yourself, you know? And so I, I really want to thank you. So I'm gonna pause right now and see if there are any other questions or anything, because I appreciate y'all hanging out with me today. This has been wonderful. Yes, yes. Sometimes having somebody to vent to is invaluable. And you know what? I'm gonna say that because I'm blessed to have people that I can vent to. And I am aware that you got to give as good as you can take. Don't just use your friends and family and counselors and therapists. Don't treat them like a trash can. Don't just dump all your garbage and leave. Be reciprocal. You can get blessings out of being there for other people when they need to vent and all of that as well. And, commiserate together. Don't do it forever, but let it be reciprocal. Let it be mutual. So that everybody can get what they need. And it will help you to start what we call holding a space, meaning that you're able to sit and be present with someone when they are experiencing emotional pain. It is hard to deal with emotional pain if you don't know what it is to help somebody else with it as well. It's kind of like, how can you run a race if you've never seen one run or ran? So understanding that you get a benefit out of this is a great thing too. All right. So that's those are some of the things that I really kind of want to make sure that I say. Um, Having conversations with people with different, okay, write that one. And don't vent to the same time. The pity party is not, nope, that's right. Sometimes you gotta turn the lights on and say, pity party over. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Oh yes. You have to learn when. And that is something that is on my list of videos. Uh how insidious and cunning self-pity can be. People can be in self I've been. People can be in self-pity and not even know it. And do you know what self-pity does? Self-pity builds you a slippery down ramp into learned helplessness. Now I talked about learned helpless. Did I put that video out yet? I don't know if I did yet. But anyway, learned helplessness. Learned helplessness is kind of like a debilitating external thing where you get to the point where you ain't good for nothing at all. And self pity has a way of setting us up to where things that we used to could do on our own, we can't do on our own anymore. And it's time to stop that. And unfortunately, it's like everybody in on it and don't realize we're doing it. It's kind of like codependency. Everybody do codependency. It's just kind of like a way of culture now. But then when codependency come back to bite, you're like, well, I don't know why you're like that. Well, that's how everything is set up. And so the pity parties, the self pity, and I'll just go in and tell you real quickly a litmus test to know if you're in self pity. Think back 3, 5, 10 years. And if there's something, now I'm not talking about if you're aging and you're not physically able or mentally capable of doing it. But if you fair to middling and you kind of like the same, capable body, if there's something that you could do 3, 5, 10 years ago that you're afraid to do now, that you are apprehensive, making excuses about, that's an area to start looking at for self-pity and learned helplessness. That's just another little inside tip here. And you're going to be amazed at some of the stuff that you look at. Now, I'm going to tell you that does not mean riding roller coasters at Universal with your young nieces and nephews, because the way my neck is set up in my 50s is not the way it was in my 40s. So that kind of stuff, no, absolutely not. That does not qualify for self-pity. That does not qualify for learned helplessness. I'm not being put in traction to ride a ride that fast. No, you got, now that's called common sense, knowing when your body says no, 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 no. So I'm not talking about that kind of stuff, but I am talking about, so say for instance, apps and technology. If 3 years ago, you would have had no problems being the first person to jump on whatever. I don't want to give nobody no shout outs right now. And then today you're like, oh, that's too complicated. I don't know. You might want to look at it. And also, so I guess I'm on a tear about this one, but with the pity parties, the self pity, and all that kind of stuff. And if you find yourself doing that, sometimes you need to declutter your brain and your mind. A way to do that again is by journaling. Getting all that stuff out. When you have certain little thoughts that come up, especially if they're recurrent and they don't have nothing to do with the price of tea in China, journal them out and then be like, be gone. And okay, I'll just show you this too. So I have little pages, and it's just a white piece of paper. Y'all just getting on my little whatever. It's just a white piece of just paper, copy paper, and I'll fold it like this. And when I get a little thought that I just want to get out of my head, I'll just write it down. And now, what will end up happening, y'all, is you will start to have thoughts like this. Don't judge me. Don't you judge me. But you will start to have little things like this, but it'll help you to clear out your mind. And I'll tell you where this really came in when I was going through the change and my mind was racing really badly and I couldn't hold on to stuff. I started making sure that I always, had things like this. So I keep I keep just, paper just in case I want to, take something out and write it down. And what I'll do is after like a month when I'm cleaning out the office, I'll just paper clip them together or something. And then a lot of times I'll go back and I'll read through them. And y'all, it's some brilliant stuff in here. I'll be like, oh, that's a great idea. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Because sometimes the stuff that I thought was just wayward thoughts, when you put them in a collection, they start to tell an important story for you that you were telling yourself, but you didn't even realize it. I'm telling you, just over and over again. Like this one, case in point, this one right here, just working all this out. This was how to do my videos that you're now watching now, because it was rummaging around in my head and I had to, put it into writing so that I could get it out. And then now you're able to watch videos based on me getting that stuff out of my head. That, like I said, as I'm just looking down at some of these things, it's just an amazing thing. So that's another way that if you're feeling like overwhelmed and you're realizing that you're not doing the stuff that you could do like just even a few months ago, you probably got constipation of the mind. And like I said, this is one of the least expensive ways. Just get you some copy paper. I usually go get the little 500 ream from, the store, and I'll take a few out at the time. And when I need to write down something, I'll take one piece of paper, fold it this way, and I'll put whatever it is that I'm trying to work on there. And then, like I said, when I come in here every, month, yeah, every month, I'll gather all of those pages together. And I'm looking at my bookshelf. That's why y'all can see my bookshelf. Ooh, child. I have got like that just from the last few months or whatever. But I actually am able to look at all of my mind chatter. It's that monkey brain. I'm able to see it on paper. And like I said, when you go back through it, it's like, whoa. Like with my journals, I go back. Sometimes I don't know what it is. I like to read the ones that were 3 years in the past to see how far I've really come with what I've been trying to do. And I'll try to make sure that I look at the ones that I haven't yet achieved or accomplished, the stuff that I'm still concerned about, I'm still journaling and working through. And then those go on the top. Remember how I was talking about for how to set up and build up and get strategic and strategy? That's one of the things that helps me to figure out what is my priority of what I'm doing. And that's one of the things. And I'm not saying that you got to journal and write stuff down like I did. I'm not. I'm saying do you. But if you want something that's inexpensive, that will help you to have a cathartic release, help you to start to not have so much mental pain and struggle, this is the way. Journaling, like I said, I use those little dollar composition notebooks, and I've gotten to the point I got a stack of them over there where when they go on sale online, like I like to find them on Staples because Staples will sell them a six pack of the composition books for like $5. When they go on sale and stuff, I grab them. And I'm like, okay, well, that's enough for like a year or whatever. And that way I have my routine of getting my mind clean, just like when you clean your clothes, clean your body. And then I have my little routine of getting stuff off my mind. And I do it with inexpensive stuff so that I don't have to worry about using up the pretty journals and all that kind of stuff. And not for nothing, there are times when I don't have any problems. And that's another thing with this kind of stuff. I don't have any problems like taking it and chunking it, because it's like, okay, I went back through it. Some of it was just like, all right. Some of it was errant thoughts. Some of it was, I'm curious. Let me go look at that, and I'll write it down so I don't forget to go and look at it or research it. Because I'm curious. And, so that kind of stuff could just go in the trash. But I'm telling you, you'll find some jewels where you're actually subconsciously talking to yourself, and you don't even realize it with something so inexpensive as a piece of copy paper. All right. All right, so you guys, oh my gosh, it's been an hour. Can you guys believe it? We did our first live. Now, I am going to say this. I'm not sure, but I'm feeling like Friday night at around 9ish. I might come back on live again, just see what y'all doing. Hey, what y'all doing? And if that would work for you, you let me know in the comments. Now, before I close it out, and y'all, we still got people here. Oh my gosh. Friday Night Live, yes. Oh my God, we still got people here. Oh, this is y'all showing out. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So before I close out, anything else you guys want to say or get me to respond to? Because I'm loving this. This is so cool. Oh my God, this makes my heart just feel so good. So let me check and see if we got any more comments, and then I'll close it down. But I definitely want you guys to start letting me know, because I really like talking with you about questions, having a little Q&A. I'm loving it. I'm living for that. So yeah, definitely. All right. Okay, I think all hearts and minds are together. So okay, you guys, I also would like for you, if you wouldn't mind, I would love for you to support the channel. And I want you to check the description for this live, where we have different ways to support the channel, because that is, of course, going to continue to help me to do this, because I can say it now. I am a full-time YouTuber. Full-time. And so I would love that. Don't forget, when we hit 1,000 subscribers, check out the community tab because I'm going to be, um, oh yes, subscribe and share. I always forget that. Thank you, Kimmy K. Subscribe and share. But yes, when we hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to be raffling off a 30-minute one-on-one. And you don't have to show your face if you don't want to. We can definitely, you don't have to do that. But I am looking forward to that. That's going to be another milestone. And thank you guys for watching and supporting 60 days. I cannot believe it. All right. So thank you all. I will see you soon. Watch the repeat, share it, subscribe, tell your friends. This is where you're gonna go. Like if you're not crazy, but you struggling in your mind. This is the place to be because we're gonna work it out with our brilliant quest. All right. See you all sooner than later. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you all so much. Bye. Now let me see how to turn this off.